Hi guys, today I prepared for you the list of 10 the most genius tactical commanders in antiquity. I will describe, in my opinion, 10 the best people who led armies in whole antiquity. And there will be no Julius Caesar on the list, and I will explain why at the end of the movie. Let's go! It's November 218 BC. Roman consul is heavily wounded and bleeding on the battlefield, surrounded by furiously attacking Numidian cavalry, and looks like the army of Rome is doomed. And in this situation, in this moment, in this very crucial moment, 17 years old young officer is charging on ahead of a few horsemen, cutting through this Numidian cavalry and rescuing the consul. The consul is his father, and the young brave warrior is Publius Cornelius Scipio, the man on the position 10 on my list. Later, in years 211-206 BC, he commanded the Roman army in Spain, where he showed great cunning and prudence, defeating Carthaginian reinforcement heading to Italy and skillfully winning over the Celtic chiefs to his side. However, his main achievement, which earned him the title of Scipio the African, was the Battle of Zama in 202 BC. With smaller forces, he defeated 80 war elephants and over 50,000 soldiers of Hannibal. He is known for his Pyrrhic victories, but in fact he was a very talented commander. He was fighting stronger than he is. He was fighting Rome, he was fighting Carthage, he was fighting Macedonia. He was even fighting in Asia Minor against the Seleucids. But he died, very unfortunately, because roof tile fell on his head when he was fighting in chaos in the streets of Agra. As king of Epirus, he defeated the Roman troops at Heraclea 280 BC and then at Ausculum 279 BC, but in the second battle he suffered huge losses. After the battle, when one of his officers was to congratulate Pyrrhus on his victory, he replied, "One more victory like that and I'll be finished." He then fought against the Carthaginians in Sicily and later returned to Italy to face the Romans at Benevento in 275. Today we know the history that Pyrrhus was actually between the two biggest powers of the Mediterranean, and in following 50 years they will clash in Second Punic War, in which Rome will set its position of hegemon of Mediterranean Sea. During his 25 years long reign, he conquered present-day India, present-day Pakistan, and part of Afghanistan. In these 25 years, he conquered a lot of territories and created one of the biggest empires of antiquity. And although there is little certain information about Chandragupta's life, the state he created proves that he was an outstanding military commander because, like Cyrus the Great, in just a quarter of a century he created an empire almost equal to the Great Persian Empire. This one of the biggest Roman generals created a new situation. He took the power in his own hands, and for several years he was the only important ruler in Rome. in the Republic of Rome, and Caesar wanted to be like him. He shown that the Republic is falling, and this structure, this type of government cannot be sustained any longer. Of course, I am talking about Lucius Cornelius Sulla. During the Roman war against allies, he fought under Nola, and there he won decisive victory for Rome, which gave him position of the most important general of the Republic. Then, when Mithridates, king of Pontus, invaded eastern provinces of Rome, Sulla was sent to defeat this invader, and under Heronea in 86 BC, he fought against numerous soldiers of Mithridates. Some sources says that he was outnumbered like 10-1, but Sulla won this battle, and again 1 year later near Orchmenos he again won decisive victory over Mithridates VI. Then, after defeating Pontus, he returned to Italy and fought in another civil war when he defeated the Maurus and Samnite tribes under the gates of Rome in 82 BC. After this important victory, he became the only ruler in Rome. But, of course, all the time he was trying to save the Republic. He was a king of mighty Assyria. During 17 years of his reign, he was constantly fighting on all fronts, and what's more important, he was always victorious, until the end. Sargon II in 722 BC captured the capital of Kingdom of Israel, ending its independence. He deported the Israelites to other parts of the empire. It was typical for Assyrians to prevent rebellions. This event is known in Bible as the Babylonian captivity of the 10 tribes of Israel. 2 years later, he defeated the Syrian-Philistinian coalition supported by Egypt at the Battle of Raphia. He later fought long and fiercely against Merodach-Baladan II, the Chaldean ruler of Babylon, supported by Elam. Finally, in 710, Sargon captured Babylon and personally assumed the title of King of Babylon. He also defeated the strong kingdom of Urartu in present-day Armenia. And finally, in 705, he set out against the Cimmerians, nomadic people who had great horse archers. The Cimmerians came from beyond the Caucasus to what's now central Turkey, and there they defeated Sargon II and ended his warlike life. Emperor Trajan was able to win with the biggest enemy of Rome, united Dacian tribes. In 2 very big wars, he was able to conquer totally this very warlike nation and subdued them for another almost 200 years. When he conquered Dacia, he went east, and there he conquered Arabia, and then he moved to the Mesopotamia and fought with Parths and won with them and captured their capital city, Ctesiphon, and he marched as far as the Gulf of Persia. In ancient China, King Wu wanted to hire new general, and one humble man came to the throne of King Wu and said that he could be capable general for the kingdom. King asked him, "Do you can make good army out of any man I can give you?" The general said, "Yes, my king, I can make good army from any man you can give me." So king thought he will trick the general and gave him his 100 concubines. General took this army without hesitation, put them on a training field and said to them, "Ladies, these two of you will be officers and the rest will be soldiers. And I will explain you the orders and you will obey. Is it clear?" Girls said, "Yes, it's clear." "Okay, so when I smash the drum once, you will turn right. When I smash the drum twice, you will turn left. Is it clear for you?" And ladies said yes. So he smashed the drum once and the ladies started laughing. So patient general said again what they have to do, and when he confirmed that they understood the order, he again smashed the drum twice. And ladies were laughing again. So he took these two officers, and in fact these two women were the most precious concubines of the king, and he beheaded them. King was shocked, but by the evening his 98 concubines were marching perfectly like an army. And in the evening, king nominated Sun Tzu as the main general of kingdom. And I think Sun Tzu is one of the greatest military minds on the earth, because his book, The Art of War, is so perfect, it's so detailed, and it's so deep in this thought about fighting and winning that it's totally accurate up to this day. So I put Sun Tzu on the 4th position on my list, and now we jump to the final third. He created the biggest empire on earth up to his times. All his life he was conquering and winning various territories. He marched thousands and thousands of miles to conquer territories from the east to the west, from the south to the north. And finally, at the old age, he died in battle fighting Scythian queen Thamyris. I'm talking about Cyrus the Great. And I put Cyrus on 3rd position because we don't know very much in details about his tactical genius in his wars. So, as we don't know perfectly well how genius he was in his fighting, I put him on the 3rd position on my list. Hannibal. Hannibal, who went through Alps, who won enormous amount of battles against stronger Roman forces, and finally in the Battle of Cannae he showed his genius. This battle alone is, I think, the most genius battle of all antiquity, if not in all times. I admire Hannibal very much because of Battle of Cannae, and unfortunately he finally lose, so he is on the position 2, not on the 1st position. And on the 1st position we have, of course, Alexander the Great, the god of war himself. This man was able to march through all Asia and conquer everything on his way. When he started, he was only 17 years old, and people in Greece were thinking, this stupid young boy is going to die in a few months in Asia. But he showed them how badly they were wrong. He won battle after battle against stronger and stronger forces, and finally, when he conquered all Persian Empire, he moved farther east to India, and there, and in very humid, wet climate, he fought with his soldiers against elephants and he won again. Unfortunately, he died being only 33. I think that if he would be able to live longer, he would conquer all the world. Because in his plans there was to conquer Carthage, Rome, and after that I'm sure he would march east to conquer China. Because he was such a man that no one could stand against him. And by the age of 50, he would have conquered all known world, and it would change the course of history immensely. But even though his short life changed the course of history enormously, and his tactical genius has no match up to date. In my opinion, Alexander the Great is the biggest general of all times. And why I don't put on my list Julius Caesar, who conquered Gaul? Let me give you an example. Imagine you have a surgeon who is precisely cutting through body, making his surgery and closing the wound in 15 minutes. No much blood, low pain, and very precise work. Is this surgeon good? And imagine another one who is making a great wound in the body. It's struggling for 2 hours with the surgery. The whole room is filled with blood. The surgeon is all covered with blood, and after 2 hours he finally closed the wound. The patient is barely living and the surgeon is exhausted. But this surgeon makes a diary, and in this diary he described how heroically he made the surgery and how great his work was. And this is the case of Julius Caesar. His campaign in Gaul was a bloody massacre without tactical finesse. He was even unable to conquer Gallic fortress Gergovia. He had overwhelming forces, and even though it took 8 years for him to conquer this divided Gallic territory. If Alexander were there, he would conquer Gaul in less than 1 year with twice smaller forces. This is the comparison of these two generals. So Julius Caesar has great marketing, his diary is well known, and people are tricked by his propaganda, by his self-praising, and that's why Julius Caesar is very well known as a good general. In fact, he was a good general, but he wasn't genius and he wasn't top 10 in the ancient times. Thank you very much for watching. It was Ziemowit about history. Subscribe to my channel and see you again.